Okay, with the noise. Happy Wednesday and welcome to another episode of Herspiration Happy Hour. Ladies, are you all ready for some cocktails and conversation? Y'all ready for some cocktails and conversation?
It's the hair. It's the hair.
All right, let's get
It
it.
is. It is.
Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? With your host, the unapologetic diva, Dr. G, the girlfriend therapist, Dr. Cortina Lewis, the Blue Phoenix Heels, Louisa Harrell, and the networking extraordinaire, Diana Richardson Philippus. Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? This is Herspiration Happy Hour.
Woo, it's Wednesday. It's a good Wednesday. I mean, I feel like it's a good Wednesday. This is your unapologetic diva, Dr. G.
This is Dr. Cortina, aka the girlfriend therapist.
And I am Chavez D. Walker, your coach of courage.
Yes, and we have two that are not here, but I'm guessing they'll be popping in shortly. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. First of all, we're 3 days into the week, and normally I feel like it should already be Friday, but I have literally been driving since Saturday. Yeah, it's been a very long week for me, but a short week. What about you, ladies?
So long week. It's just starting really, but it's been long already. I leave tomorrow night to drive down to Palm Beach. I have a conference for IABOS, and I also on Saturday have my graduation. So I'm so excited.
Yeah. Are you excited to be hooded?
I am. It's just a little bittersweet because my husband won't be there.
Or is somebody going to FaceTime with them?
I don't know. Probably not.
Oh, well, it's all good. Jay didn't attend my graduation. My mom did though, so that was nice.
We 15 deep. I got 15 people coming. So my mama, my daddy, my aunts, my cousins. So we're good on that part. And my daughter.
Got what you need. You got what you need. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I graduated in Denver, so my mom and I had flew out, and so that was really nice. So I know how it is just to be, to have to drive somewhere and just kind of go. It's all exciting though. And are you going? Well, no, I think no matter what, at least are you going under Lewis?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't? What do you mean you don't know?
I gotta see what it say on the degree.
Are you going to get it changed over?
Eventually.
Oh, because
remember all of my professional stuff. Oh, it says Lewis.
Okay.
It says Lewis. Well, that's higher up in the ABC alphabetical order than Peter's. So that's good.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Bottom at the end. So at least where are you going to hang it? Where are you going to put it?
In my office, where all the other degrees are.
Okay. Are they up or just?
Oh yeah, they're up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine are up. What about you, Shay? How's your week been so far? Other than you deciding to stray today, and have a moment.
I welcome my moment, and this moment came, and this moment has gone. It is over because I'm gonna pay for it later. So that's neither here nor there. You know what? It has been long, but I'm very pleased. I'm very glad about it. I had to drive down to Atlanta to help my mom transition into her new place, and so I'll be driving back tomorrow night as well. So driving back to Atlanta, and I guess because I had time to wrap my mind around moving and doing things, I made sure that I balanced myself. I got some rest. But when I got there, I was so pleased. She said, babe, you know what? If you just want to get rid of everything, you can. And I was like, oh, I will not allow 24 hours to go by. you know, for you to change your mind. So when I say I had the people come pull up and haul everything out, and I did. And so the next morning I got up and I went shopping and I furnished her whole new place. And it looks beautiful. And she was so happy. I made her stay away until some of the stuff got up. And so she was able to come in and get a glimpse of what the whole picture will look like, because I'll finish up this weekend. And oh my gosh, she was just really taken back. That was very overwhelming. So I get to go back this weekend and finalize some stuff. I got our new bed, new living room furniture, new dining room furniture, new plates, new dishes, like literally everything. And so I love moving that way. Throw everything out, get new stuff, right? And it's her birthday. Remember, her birthday's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this really blessed me to be able to do that for my mom.
Your birthday is like almost a month away.
Well, November 10th.
I said it's a month. It's like
but I'm saying, happy birthday.
I was about to say, because you already know November is not going to get here, and I'm not going to show the fuck out. The first like 15 days, I'm going to show all the way out. My birthday is the 8th, so I get to celebrate the week before, and I'm celebrating the week after, and then I can just like, okay, it's once it goes into what is it, Sag season, yeah. So yeah, I turn up, that's a good thing. Yeah, I'll be ready. And my birthday is like my own personal holiday for days on days. Because, I always feel like I'm blessed to see every year, even more so as you get to age. So I'm looking forward to turning 48 this year.
48, huh?
Yes, 48. I know y'all. I know it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, but you know what?
What I love is that we're aging so gracefully.
I have a drink for today, and we are going to call this drink the Late Summer Spritzer.
Oh.
And so how you create this is you have some cranberry juice, and you mix it with orange juice and a sprinkle of Perrier for the bubbles. And you also, I have this gnat in here that's really bothering me. And you use, what's the name of that rum? What's the name? Give me some names of famous rum.
Bacardi rum?
Is it Bacardi? No.
I don't know. I'm not a rum drinker, so I don't know.
But it makes it taste really good.
Cruzan? Is that Cruzan?
Captain Morgan's?
No, it'll come to me. I'm gonna look up rums and I'm gonna see the picture and be like, oh, that's it. But anyway, any type of rum that you like, even if you like spice rum, to give it that spice little edge if you like. And then you garnish it with some lemon slices around the glass and some ice and sip it as you like.
Okay. I feel like once you said cranberry juice mixed with the orange juice, and immediately what came to my mind was like, oh, that would probably taste good with gin, and then putting in some champagne. It's like a French 75. That's how it's kind of made, but it's made with simple syrup and lemon juice. So a fresh lemon or whatever you want to call it. But I feel like that would kind of give it a little, a dazzle.
So the lemon slices in here really, really, to me, set it off, because I put like 6 of them in here. And so they were all around the glass, and it really gives it a nice late summer feel.
You know what? When you first came on, I was like, "Ooh, that's a nice looking sangria."
Not at all.
Is it Malibu?
That's it.
So it's a coconut rum.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, that sounds so good.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't do coconut. It numbs my tongue for some reason.
But see, I don't like coconut, the real coconut. I don't like coconut water. I don't like coconut, the flakes, but I can do this.
I know. Okay, so I can drink straight from a coconut, but I can't have synthetic coconut. So weird. So weird. Yeah, but it doesn't. I like being able to have taste buds and not have my entire mouth and lips numb.
I bet.
But that's what like drinks with coconut in it does for me. So I don't know if it's a combination of the coconut and the alcohol or whatever. It just no. And
Shay, when you come down, I'll have to make you one.
Yeah, that sounds.
You can make it with a different rum that doesn't have.
I mean, I'll give you gin.
Oh well, yeah, I'll take that.
It also sounds like it would be good with a Myers dark rum too, though. Because you know that Myers dark rum gives you that hint of like vanilla accent in the back behind it, and so that sounds like that would be good with that.
Why she sound like a whole mixologist over here? She's like,
well, you know, I was a bartender for 12 years.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
Maybe you said that.
Skills.
Maybe you said that, and I just went. You know, it's gone now.
No, yeah, I ran a bar for 12 whole years. Yes.
Oh wow.
I had my own signature drink that was floating around the city of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was called Coochie in a Cup.
Coochie in a cup?
That's what it's called.
Okay.
It's absolute peach vodka with a little bit of grenadine and some pineapple juice, mixed with just a scoop of cranberry and simple syrup and a little bit of lemonade.
But it's called Coochie in a Cup.
Coochie in a Cup. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Well, goddamn.
But what about penis in the mug?
Didn't come up with that, but I'll work on it. I'm real good with drinks. I'm telling you.
You know what? Mentally, I was like, I wonder what
that sounds like a creamy drink. Yeah.
Maybe like a what do you call it?
Kahlua or something.
Yeah, what's that? The white
cream. Like the Irish cream.
What's that white creamy?
The one that's in the white with the gold, the white bottle.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Chorada.
Rum chata.
There you go.
Oh, rum chata. Yeah, rum chata.
Yeah, with a little Kahlua. That's
like I said, or the Irish cream. You said, what is it called? Penis in a mug. Shot of penis. That's
it's giving me White Russian. You know, giving me White Russian.
Anyhow, so with this today, I was just thinking when I was like, what can we talk about today? Because there's so much stuff going on. And I wanted to keep it light. And as I'm sitting here doing, you know, I'm traveling around. I'm spending time with my dad. So that's why I'm in Georgia right now. And all I could think about was like, why does everything feel like a damn chore? All this planning that I'm doing, all this traveling that I'm doing, I'm already working. Working already is a chore. I mean, you got house chores, but I'm like, when is it that your busy life actually slows down so you can really relax? Or is there such a thing as like really relaxing? What are you doing like literally when you're just absolutely doing nothing other than sleeping? You can't use sleeping.
I was just getting ready to say sleeping.
And if your mind works like mine, sleeping is a chore too, because my mind don't shut off. So still working in my head. But like even getting to sleep, if you're restless, getting to sleep is a damn chore. To me, it's like all of this stuff I should be getting paid for. All free labor.
So long time ago, I decided to disconnect and create boundaries for myself. And I put certain things in place to help me do those things, like how I navigate my mornings and how I prepare to shut it down at night. And I'm so intentional about shutting it down. Like I don't even have a TV in my bedroom because I need to just have that moment to whether I'm going to listen to some meditation music, something that can just help me decompress and just escape my thoughts, because I'm like you, I'll lay there and I'll be thinking about all the 100 million things to do. And so I put myself in routine to do that. So what I found interesting, I bought an eye mask. And so I put my meditation music on, or whether I'm going to listen to these, I have this app where it's the sleep devotional, where it just helps you decompress, channel your thoughts, and pay attention to what it's saying. So I put that in my ear and I put my sleep mask on. And before you know it, I'm hitting REM stage 3 and 4, and I'm waking up rejuvenated. Oh, and I read. I definitely, one thing that I do is I make sure I read scripture before I go to sleep. I make sure I read a scripture, because the last thing I put my eyes on is the thing that I'm going to lay there thinking about. So I make sure I read scripture before I go to sleep, and I just allow myself to process that. I put my eye mask on, and yeah, that helps me a lot.
Oh yeah. So by the way, this also made me think about, and Cortina, it's been resting on my brain. So I can't stand the fact that you shared that, but I love the fact that you shared that. The thing, what did you say about that thing that you sent us about
Oh, keeping them balanced, the
yeah,
circles.
something about the circles or something. No, not when you put this here where it says growing up, I never knew a relaxed woman. That literally has plagued me. And even though I feel like a lot of times I'm like, well, you know what? I've been very intentional about self-care, and I've been very intentional about creating boundaries, and I've been intentional about even scaling my work schedule down so that I am able to relax more. And then when you know how you start really evaluating what you're doing, I'm like, God damn, I still don't really relax. And I'm gonna have to say this probably has not much, keeps my head thinking, but because I've been very intentional about the self-care part and just taking care of myself, after reading this, it's making me now like, okay, let me be intentional. So I'm going to share this because I really felt like this really has such a huge value. It says, growing up, I never knew a relaxed woman. Successful woman, yes. Productive woman or women, yes. Plenty. Anxious and afraid of apologetic women, heaps of them. But relaxed women, at ease women, women who aren't afraid to take up space in the world, women who prioritize rest and pleasure and play, women who give themselves unconditional permission to relax without guilt, without apology, without feeling like they need to earn it. I'm not sure I've ever met a woman like that, but I would like to become one. I would like us all to become one. The relaxed woman is the self we have been taught to hide and despise, the sensual, curious, playful, pleasure-loving self. The relaxed woman has the capacity to be with uncertainty and imperfection, to listen inwardly to her intuitive voice, to release control because she knows that not everything can be forced or willed or strived for. Rather, some things, maybe the most important things, like sleep and wisdom and love, instead arise through release and surrender and letting ourselves receive. The word relax comes from the old French, well, I guess I don't know how to pronounce that word, but I guess it's relaxer, meaning to loosen, to liberate, to set free. Becoming a relaxed woman is an unshackling and uncaging and untaming. It is a process of letting or setting ourselves and other women free. Relax into joy whenever you can, even when there is suffering in the world. Your joy doesn't hurt anyone. It might even heal them. That came from, this was from Nicola Jane Hobbs. When I say there is so many things that is in there that I constantly go back and I'm reassessing what I call relaxing. Because even when I go and I get my nails done and I'm like, that's my pamper me time, I'm on my phone, whether I'm playing games, whether I'm doing something, I'm still not really freeing myself because I'm anal about my games. I'm like, I have to play every day because if you miss certain things, I'm like, yeah. I'm neurotic when it comes to things. And I play games for mental, just mental games. Like, word games and all of that. But even then, it's like, when do I actually allow myself to ease without guilt? And I recognize that I feel like I always have to be doing things. So when I am laying in bed at night, I won't just allow, after I'm done praying and I still can't sleep, I'm like, well, let me research. Maybe I'll make my eyes tired. So I always feel compelled to be doing something that will help me out the next day or days after or things like that. So that's what made me say, like, really everything we do, it almost feels chorish now because it feels like an obligation. A chore to me is an obligation, something that I have to do. So I don't know how you ladies feel about that, but I mean, from my perspective, after getting that from Cortina, I've been going down like a rabbit hole, but about myself. So thank you.
You're welcome. One of the things I will share is that, you know, resting and relaxing looks differently for different people. For me, when I can just sleep in and I can just lay in the bed and I'm not even asleep, I don't have to get up. I'm just in the bed, scrolling, doing whatever it is I feel like I want to do. As long as I'm not strategizing, planning, doing anything like that, I feel like that is my time to rest. And one of the things that I really want to get to and do better at is prioritizing not feeling guilty about not giving other people my free time, because my free time is mine. So you may think that I'm not doing anything. You may think, oh, well, you're not seeing clients, you're not working, you're not this. But if it's my free time, it won't be free time anymore if I'm giving it to you. So if I feel guilted or obligated to have to do something, run an errand that I don't feel like doing, being better with saying, you know what? No, I don't feel like doing that. And I'm not going to do it. And I'm okay with not doing it. That is something that I am working on. Like, I really don't have a problem with saying no. Like, even some of my friends now, my husband, he'll be like, well, you know, if it doesn't benefit her, she's not going to do it. I say, no, that's not it. But just because you all want to go somewhere, that doesn't mean that I have to go. I know my limits and I'm listening to my body. And if I don't feel like it, I'm not. And if I feel like it, I will. That does not make me selfish. It does not make me self-centered. It makes me or allows me to honor my position and my place in my space so that I can rest. Because if I'm out all night, guess what? I'm going to be tired tomorrow. If I'm tired tomorrow, the day is going to be longer. If the day is longer, I'm going to be more irritable. And so I am learning to balance. Okay, I don't feel like doing this. Even if let's say I go out somewhere and I don't, go anywhere crazy. But if I do, I notice it takes me the whole Sunday to regroup. I'm just like, I'm too tired. I can't get up. I wake up at like 2:00. I just can't do what I used to do. And that's okay. And so I know there are times when I feel like doing that, and there are times when I don't want to do that. And so I am getting better at being able to be okay with being the villain in some people's stories.
Okay. Well, I will say to that is that I look at two things. The power of no, I got, but I tell people you can't get to the power or understand the power of no until you can understand and embrace the power of I. And what I mean by that is I am important. I am tired. I have boundaries. I takes place and precedence before I even say no. Because I have to put myself first in every single way. So me being empowered to say the word no, it became very easy once I understood what I needed. Because sometimes if you don't really know what you need, then you constantly are going and going and going for other people. And so I protect my energy. I protect my peace. So I have all my I statements that are critical for me. And that's how I was able to set up boundaries.
But I think when it comes to culturally, a lot of times we feel indebted, guilted, obligated to have to be everything to everybody. And as soon as we implement those boundaries, some people may say, oh, they moving funny or they're changing. No. It's not any of that. I'm not trying to shade you or anything like that. I'm now prioritizing me because me making sure I'm okay will benefit you in the long run. But if I run myself ragged now, guess what? I'm not going to be any good for myself, which in turn, indirectly, it's not going to be any good for you. So I think us changing indirectly helps the people around us to be able to see, oh, okay, I don't have to keep this same, tradition of, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I can't do this, the family is expecting me. Like that whole conversation what they had when some people are like, oh my God, Jay-Z is a billionaire, he's messed up because he didn't give his cousin $4,800. He's not obligated to give his cousin $4,800. He worked for his money. If he felt the need to, then he probably would. We don't know the background of this cousin or what this cousin was going to do or how many times before he has given this cousin money. So when people were like, oh, that's messed up, you're supposed to bring the family up. If I give you this $4,800, are you going to be asking me for another $4,800 in a month from now? What are you going to do with it? Do you have something that you're going to do? And so all of these expectations that come from family are the things that sometimes keep individuals from really being able to be at ease and at peace because they carry the weight of the world and the family on their shoulders.
But so then when do we stop being responsible for how other people feel and take things? I don't. But you know what I tell people? I'm not responsible for how you feel. You're going to feel some kind of way. That's not my responsibility nor my burden to carry. So if I'm protecting my energy and they say, well, I'm mad. Well, that's an emotion. You're entitled to how you feel, but I can't take that on. I can't take that energy on. Like Shay or Louisa, what about you all in the grander scheme of just being able to say no, protect yourself, and all of that stuff?
So I have two seasons that I operate in. I operate in a season of hustling, and then I operate in a season of housing. I understand when it's time for me to bench myself because I'm in leadership and I can't show up bleeding all over the people that I'm attempting to help. So I have to protect not only the people that I'm responsible for, but I have to respect and protect me. What I've learned is that I cannot pour from an empty cup. I don't even want to share my cup with anyone. The overflow is for the people that I'm helping and connected to. I can't show up my best self for my husband if I've got him put inside the cup with me. He can't be in the cup with me. I have to operate from an overflow place. And so when I was able to identify what I need, what I require, I was able to then treat the people that are around me better. I'm able to pay attention and want to understand love languages. I have the energy and I have the capacity to do that then. But when I'm operating from a place of sharing what I need, that does me a disjustice and I can't show up my full self. But then I have my seasons where I'm going hard and I know what it requires. It requires me to sacrifice sleep. It requires me to sacrifice being able to go out and hang with friends because I'm working. I got to stay focused, but then there is a season of housing. And when I'm in that season of housing, I'm intentional about who I share my time with because I still have to protect my space. I'm not going anywhere with everybody because I can't. That's just not my, that's not my portion. So I've just learned to respect my I, my no, and my boundaries.
For me, and excuse me, ladies, I've been fighting a cold, so might be going in and out. But I'm learning, and now this is recent for me because one, I'm an older sister, and then I went from being an older sister who was a second mom to being a mom and a wife. And so I really did not get that separate me time, learn yourself time until recently, maybe the past couple of years. So it's recent where I started saying no. It's recent where I started understanding that you can keep going and going and going, but you're going to burn out. So you have to take that time to rebuild yourself or like Shay said, refill, pull from the overflow. They can receive from the overflow. But I was giving from my cup, giving the dust, giving everything. And even with my children, I'm teaching them or having to put boundaries up for them because they will pull, they pull. And it can be exhausting because I'm a very hands-on mom and I'm, just right there. And so I'm learning now, more so now, about what I need for me, because I'm going to give them or care for my children and family, but I don't give enough time and care for me. So I'm learning that now.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that helps is training people we have contact with, right? So how do we change this narrative of the obligation? Well, for example, it starts with sometimes us as parents and aunts and showing the younger individuals that, okay, yes, I might want this, but if you don't have the emotional capacity to give it, you don't have to. And learning how to communicate that in a very confident way that's not condescending. Like, how dare you ask me that? Like, no, it doesn't take that, but you can still communicate your boundary and where you are in a compassionate way. Yeah. And then it's on that other person. They understand, they take it or they leave it. Now that part is on them.
So my mom had, discussion that we were having, this was so many years ago. And I've shared this with a few other people. I think also when kids are small, we automatically mentally, because we're forcing sharing, we are forcing our kids to remove the boundaries that they have. So when you go and you say, go play or go share, you have to share, and then you physically remove whatever it is that you want them to share, give it to someone else, you are already establishing that child does not have boundaries, that your kid does not have boundaries. We have to be careful as not just parents, because we, aunties do it, uncles do it, grandparents do it, because of how each one of us was raised. But when we look at it, we were raised to destroy and break boundaries that we all internally have. And I will say this, so in our house growing up, and people always thought it was so strange, when it came to certain things, food, like we all got to go pick out our own cereal, pick out our own snacks, and it was ours. So if one of my sisters wanted some of what we had, my mom would say, you have to go ask your sister.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how I do.
That established, that's establishing and teaching your children boundaries. But so often, and I'm in classrooms or I'm in other things, daycares or out in the public, where I have seen parents literally take stuff at parties, especially, you have to share. And I'm thinking to myself now, that was probably a very terrible way to be teaching your children how to share, because again, you are removing the boundary that they have, because at the time they didn't want to share what was theirs. But if you say, well, you know what, I know that's yours right now, but would you mind sharing this with them when you are done or when you are ready? If that child is never ready, okay. But if you say that, oftentimes children will say, okay, I'm done here. You can, I'll share with them. But otherwise, we really, to me, have to rethink how we are establishing and teaching boundaries to our children beyond good touch, bad touch. I'll say that.
And that's true. I've learned, because I do that. My mom used to do that too. She'll take us and let us go get our own specific stuff. And she said, this is yours. If you eat it up, then that's, so I don't know what those are. If you eat it up, okay. And if somebody wants some, they have to ask us. And I do that with my children, but I also know, because I go through their clothes, recycle their clothes, or I might give them to their cousins, or I might give them the Goodwill. And so I noticed that my kids were getting upset because I was getting rid of their clothes. They couldn't fit them, but they would get upset. So what I started doing is asking them, hey, I know this is getting too small, or I know, you no longer want this anymore. Do you mind if I give this to your cousin, or is it okay? Well, I still can fit it. Okay, fine. Are you sure? Let's try it on and see. And if they still won't give it, then I'll let them keep it for a while and I'll come back. But I had to learn that, we felt a certain way, like Pat was saying, and we teach them that what's theirs is not important, or they're what they want doesn't matter. And that does teach you how not to have boundaries, because we say sharing is caring. But yeah, it is, but you also have to want to share, and it is yours. And if it's yours, you don't have to. And that's and it also teaches the other child entitlement. or the other person entitlement, because I have to get on my youngest daughter because I used to always make them share. And Ethan won't let me. I said, well, it's Ethan. And if he doesn't want to give him it, he doesn't have to. I said, if you get something and you don't want to share, you don't have to, but you have no right to be upset because he doesn't want to share his things. And so I'm teaching them that because we had to share. It was take away and give, So I'm trying to, I'm teaching them those things.
Yeah. Hey, Diana.
Hey, you guys, I'm so sorry. I keep having technical difficulties getting on. I don't know what it is. So but I've been listening. The whole time. I just logged in. And
I'm like, try again.
I was in the chat. Yeah, great topic today, ladies. Great topic.
Yeah, well, hop in. What are your boundary things that you've had to either put in place or need to learn how to put in place? Because I don't know if you were in you were in the chat when Cortina posted that thing about the relaxed woman. Yeah, so that's what made me just like yes,
and hit home. I have never known any relaxed women. I am not a relaxed woman, as much as I try to be. And when I said amen to Cortina, because it's the guilt for me, and it's internal guilt, and then the guilt that people place upon me when I do have moments where I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. Like I don't want to cook. I don't want to clean. I don't really want to talk sometimes. Like sometimes I just want to be. And then when I have those times, it's often like, what, you're not going to cook dinner? Or what's wrong with you? Oh, you got an attitude? No, I don't have an attitude. I'm simply just tired. And I'm still a work in progress, on that. I try. Sometimes I do get an attitude, ironically, because of the pressure. Like it's a lot of pressure. I got my husband. I don't have children, but I have my mom, my sister who live with us. I have
the puppies.
You got fur baby.
I got these 3 businesses that it's a lot. It's a lot. And most of the time I work myself into exhaustion on a regular basis, to the point where I get a migraine. And then I'm like, okay, I got to come to Jesus moment. I'm praying over it. And I'm saying, Lord, I'm going to do better. And then I end up going right back into the same cycle. But I will say, I'm trying. I'm not going to stop trying. I'm not going to stop trying. I'm just not going to. I mean, let me say this. Even today, I'm exhausted. When I say I am so tired, y'all, I am so tired. I stopped working at 3 today. I had a call at 5:30, but I stopped working at 3. And I just sat down for a minute. Like, you can't do anything and be of service to anyone at this moment, Diana, because you are physically and mentally done. Like, I really just don't have anything to give. I don't. I'm tired. So I did my call at 5:30. Yeah, I didn't want to, but I did. And then I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, I got the podcast and I couldn't get on. I'm like, Lord, what is happening? And then, I got the family. Like, I got to whisper a little bit because when I'm in my office, they might be able to hear me. But, I didn't cook today. My husband goes into the office on Wednesdays and he likes for me to have his meal when he gets home. No, not every Wednesday, but I carry guilt with that. I do. I feel guilty when I don't do it.
So low key, I confession moment and total transparency moment, because this is one of the things that I wrestle with. And you ladies who are married or in long-term relationships, or 3 of you are married. Louisa, I'm not sure if you're still dating your friend. I have such guilt over being so busy, and mental exhaustion sometimes is way worse than physical. I feel guilty because like I'm hardly in a mood. Like right now I'm doing 50,000 things. I'm trying to figure out, like, let me fit sex in here. I'm tired. I'm too tired that by the time I go to bed, if I got to get on top, it's just hang it up. If I got to, and sometimes I like low key, I be praying that he just falls asleep because I'm just tired. So low, because he'll do it every day. And most times I wouldn't mind. Like low key right now, I have a lot going on, and y'all, wedding planning is not for the faint of heart. Between wedding planning and having all of these different events, and I'm here hanging out with my dad, and I'm traveling. I got to try my dress on, pick my dress up on Saturday. I mean, from like Saturday, I drove down to Huntsville. You don't even know what my fucking Monday was like, but Monday was just like, Diana, me and you talk. Monday was way frustrating. On the road on Tuesday, driving to Savannah. Hung out with my dad today. What's today? Tuesday. Okay,
Wednesday.
So Tuesday. So today, okay, so today's Wednesday. Picked my dad up, hung out with him. Was supposed to go to the beach and relax. Didn't do that because it rained. So yeah, I'm look, underneath this dress is a fucking swimsuit. I didn't even bother changing, but I'm literally tired. So now, and being able to slow down, even though that's not slowing down, I miss Jay, and now I feel like I miss being more intimate, sexually intimate before leaving, because now I'm just like, damn, my hormones are fucked up, but I want it now. But it's like when I'm home, I feel like, how are you more intentional about all the busy shit that you're doing and still have enough energy to want to have sex and be physical about it? That's my thing. It's not just like, okay, let's just, do enough just to get off. I'm talking like
actually be into it.
Yes.
Like a real session.
Like a real session. Like
a whole. I mean, Cortina, what do you have to say?
Like a break your back session.
Because I don't be doing nothing over here. I'm tired. Go ahead, Cortina.
Shay raised her hand. We'll go with Shay first.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Shay. What you doing?
So, ladies,
Diana.
I love this. I think this is absolutely amazing. But let me say, I'm definitely the relaxed woman that's present here today in this evening. Okay, it's me.
That's because you had that.
I am her.
But just because you had that cheat today, so you feeling full.
Well, but guess what? She was relaxed when she ordered it. Okay, she was definitely relaxed when she ordered it. So let me say, because I listened to you when you read this, and then I just skimmed over it. I love that. Again, it's been more than, I had to embrace this life when I became an empty nester, when my son left and went to college, because that was a whole new world, and I had to figure out, I had to identify who I was, because everybody called me, oh, that's CJ's mom. Oh, that's Aja's mom. Like, I didn't even have a name, And so I've been living under, I'm somebody's mom since I was 16 years old. And now that the kids are gone and they've started life outside of mom, I was left home alone to deal with myself, face myself. And in that, I realized, like, wait a minute. If I'm not busy, what am I doing? And at that particular time in life, I had narrowed it down from having 16 contracts to just 2. And my free time usually looked like basketball games, football games, and that kind of thing. So without that, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I need to discover who I am. What is it? How is it that I want to identify? Like, what am I after? What are my goals? Because I was just clueless. And it started with, I read this book. It was about Atomic Habits. That's what it was. I started reading Atomic Habits. And Atomic Habits, it outlines, it says that you have to prioritize the things that are most important to you. And you can't miss you in the prioritizing. What does prioritizing you look like? And so prioritizing for me, it used to look like, okay, let me try to remember to grab something to eat. Let me try to remember to sip my water while I'm doing everything else for everybody else. Let me remember. And by the time I got to bed, I was depleted, but I was already thinking about the next day, kind of something that everybody said here. So now I spend this life trying to figure out who I am. And I'm like, wait a minute, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to read a book. I haven't picked up a book and finished a book in years. Let me read a book. And that started to slow me down. I was in Target one day. You would speeding through the aisle trying to look at stuff to find stuff for me. And I promise you, the Holy Spirit said, why are you rushing? You have nowhere to go. Why are you rushing? And I was like, oh my God, I had such a light bulb moment. Why am I rushing? I have become so accustomed to flying in the store, picking up a shirt, grabbing a pair of pants, maybe looking at some shoes, grab a coffee, and then get to the school. But that was no longer my lifestyle. So I started to pace myself. I'm telling you, I walked through the store saying 1, 2, 3, forcing myself to slow down. And the more I did that, the more I embraced, wait a minute, I can move with ease, because the world tells us that we got to be busy. It got to look this way. And we're conforming to the things that the world says, what social media says. We're trying to keep up with the rat race. And that's really not anything that comes fast. It ain't worth crap. Let's just
my question answered too.
That's right.
Like, I really need to figure out how to be more intentional so I can have some back-breaking moments.
Like, I started just counting, like pacing myself, and then going into this new marriage. I was like, well, guess what? I don't want divorce to be my portion anymore, because the statistics in my family says that divorce that's the norm in my family. You know, my aunt's divorced, my cousin's divorced. Nobody's marriages is lasting. So I need to go inward to reflect, to break these old generational curses, these things that the past, the people say, right? And so now I'm being intentional about prioritizing my marriage. I'm prioritizing sex because that's a me thing. I need me. Like, this ain't about nobody. I need me. I need to make sure that I'm tapped into my femininity and what I need. Sex is not just about him. So going into sex, I'm making that about me. Now, what you get out of it, that's your business. But what I need is what I need. So I'm going, you know, and I prioritize that. I go do things for myself. I take time for myself, even if I need to step away from work. Hey, listen, I'm not coming in today. Today is not my portion. I'll do it later. I'll work from home. And thank God I have that kind of flexibility, though. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I do have that flexibility to say, hey, today is a mental health day for me. I'll check in tomorrow. And so I utilize my time. When I need what I need, I take what I need. And I don't give myself an excuse to say, well, I got to do this, I got to do that. No, you got to do what you want to do, and what you choose to do, that's on you.
I don't know, because if I don't work, I don't eat. So so I think that's the dynamic that I find. Like, I mean, like you, Cortina, is like you are your livelihood. And, you know, I mean, yes, it's great to have a husband, but it's also great to contribute, especially if things have always been contingent on both of you. So I'm just like that's where I try to figure out the balance. Just having sex that's not an issue. I'm talking intentional, and just I want to be more, I want to show up differently. And right now I feel like that is my struggle. And I'm just being fully transparent. I mean, I'm busy. I'm constantly gone. I'm constantly on the go. And I feel like I'm not doing enough. That's my guilt. It's like, I feel like I should be showing up more in that way for him. And for myself.
Talk about it. Have you
asked him? What would he like? What's your ideal showing up? What does that look like? And what is his? And then you see, is there a discrepancy? The way you're showing up, he might be like, oh my God, I think it was great. And so sometimes
there's a moment. I mean, it's not a bad moment. I think for me, it's not like we don't have sex. I just feel like I feel like I could be doing more. I mean, because sometimes I'm just tired. I'm like,
what does more look like?
I don't know.
You think you're underperforming.
So you can't say, so this is the thing.
She's underperforming.
When you say I don't know, that puts me in the mindset, because when people say I don't know, then
I have to think about that. Because I feel like, well, I would say old me versus when I was getting a regular, paycheck. I had a 9 to 5. It was easier because I wasn't so exhausted mentally. But now it's just like mentally takes over physically. Now I'm just like, I just want to go to sleep, or I just want to lay here and do nothing. Or it's just like the last thing I feel like doing. It's like, because that helps me sleep. So let me just do enough so I can go to sleep. Let me do enough for him to go to sleep. But I feel like I want to have intentional sex, and that might not make any sense to anybody, but I don't know a better way to explain that.
Are you speaking about mentally? You want to be
I
mentally?
I just feel like I'm not showing up like I used to show up, like and
getting all prepared, lingerie. You talking about like the extra stuff?
Yeah, but let me just say this. He probably am not going to complain. This is my guilt. This is what I said. I feel like I am not showing up like I used to. So for me, so for me, maybe it's my guilt and it might be just fine for him, but I feel like I want to show up and be more intentional as opposed to having my head all over the place and just needing it to go to sleep. Not looking at it from a pleasure place as much as it is I just want to sleep. Or I know I just need to give it because it's been a while and we need to do it. And a while don't mean 2-3 weeks. I'm talking like it's been a couple of days. I'm like, okay, I'm tired, but let me just go ahead and do this. I don't want it to ever feel like a chore. So I feel like for me personally, I'm making it a chore and I don't want to slip so far into that zone. And y'all know me. I'm very transparent, and I feel like these are conversations that we don't have enough. But then, like you said, Shay, marriages kind of falling apart because we are not honest about our positioning in it and what we want to get from it. So I look at women who are busy. I got especially two women who are their 9-to-5s are their businesses, or not even 9-to-5s, because that's much more than that. And they're married and they're having successful marriages, at least from the outside looking in. It's like not perfect, but it's being able to say, okay, we've lasted 10 years or 10, so it's like something's kept us. But I feel like now I'm getting more and more tired, but I want to show up more, and my mind wants it, but my body is like, look here.
One of the things you have to do is you have to look at what the reality is, and you and Jay have been together for a very long time. And you said something, I want to be able to do what I used to do. There's so many factors that go into that. And what you used to do might not be the reality of what you can do right now with age, with time, with transitions changing or whatever. So one of the things that you have to be able to get in your mind is what I'm expecting of myself realistic. Because if it's not, like, I might want to say, okay, I want to swing on the goddamn pole and do all this extra stuff. I might not be able to do that no more, right? So I have to look at what is realistic and what works for the both of us. So yeah, in my mind, I might want to get back to the place where I used to be. However, that might not be where we are right now. And how do we make our right now mind-blowing for the both of us? Because our now mind-blowing might be very different than our past mind-blowing. And so
but equally is satisfying.
Yeah, right. Of course. Of course.
Equally is satisfying.
Because I see couples that don't even have penetration, but they have sex in a different way, right? Because when life changes, life changes. If y'all gonna be together when y'all 80, what you used to be able to do when you were in your 40s, you're probably not going to be able to do that. So we have to be able to change our expectations with the time. So we're not feeling like we're lacking something, or damn, I used to be able to do this, or I used to want to jump on it, or, not be so busy. I have to look at what is in both of our realities, because the honest answer is your life has changed. You used to be able not to worry about getting a contract and being paid because, okay, I can take off. I'm going to call it. I don't feel like going. However, when you are in business and how hard you go navigates the lifestyle you live, sometimes finances take a precedent versus a backseat like they used to be. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's supposed to replace sex. Absolutely not. But it's like, okay, this is what I need to do. How can I get to a place where if I don't show up for a meeting, it's not on my mind where I'm worried, which causes me to be like, okay, I don't even got time for sex right now. Okay, what is going on? And we also have to realize how sometimes what's happening around us impacts our level of motivation as it relates to if we want to be involved sexually or be touched or anything like that. So what's happening in and around my world that's causing me to be overly tired? Is it possible for me to shift and adjust the barriers that's preventing me from doing the things that I want to do? And let me have a conversation with my partner. Hey, I always like to say, come from a positive perspective. I think what we have is great. I think what we have is good. But from your words, what do you think would make it better? What else do you want? So we're not going to say, well, what's wrong? No, because we don't want to put a negative lens on it. But honey, if you could have something more, what would that be? Because if I could have something,
you ready for the answer?
What I want to share with you, and so being open and honest, because that's what relationships are about. True transparency, even when the conversation is difficult. Because even if you have somebody be like, honey, you know what, you're a little dry, whatever. I don't know, maybe we need to have some lubrication. Don't take offense to that. Hell, it happens with the lack of
make sure you keep some coconut oil on the cabinet.
Listen, I keep my tub or my nightstand, baby, right now. Big organic thing.
I'm just saying.
How far do you for the coconut oil? Not too many people know about that.
No, I do. I know about that. I do know.
What I was gonna say, Pam, because I know you got to get out of here. But this is what I was gonna say. Stay away from assumptions, because assumptions will start to put us in a place of incarceration mentally. So don't make assumptions. Keep open line of communication and just ask the question, sit down and have the conversation so that you can keep yourself out of that space of assuming that you're not showing up your best self, assuming that you're not doing enough, because that breeds division. Assumptions breed division. Open communication, communicate, and just do a check-in. Hey, babe, do an intimacy check-in. Hey, babe, you know what? Let's talk about it. Is there something missing? Is there a little bit more of, less of, or are we good? Because it's plenty of times out, and especially when I'm in my hustle season, baby, I see you. And that actually turns me on, the fact that he respects that what he sees me doing in my hustle season, because then what you gonna do is I'm coming to break you off. It's gonna hit you random, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna get you all the way together, and that's gonna make you forget about the last month that you got them two little bent over, lean over, hit it from the side.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's that one moment is gonna make up for all those other moments.
Okay, so we're gonna go around really quick. Louisa, tell everybody where they can find you at.
Oh, you can find me at the Blue Phoenix Hills everywhere.
Okay. Miss Diana, let's go.
You can find me at Diana Richardson Philippus on all social media platforms.
Shay?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at The Coach of Courage.
And Dr. Lewis up there.
You can find me at The Girlfriend Therapist on all social media platforms. You can also find me, where else can you find me? The Noir Center, NOIR Center, and the Girlfriend Therapist, and Sex Unveiled, SEXD Unveiled.
All right, you can find me on all social media platforms at I am Dr. P. Gurley, IAMDRP, GURLEY. Ladies, we're going to have definitely finished this conversation. We're at the top of the hour anyhow, and I got to run. I know Dr. Lewis has another client that she needs to see. You'll find us here next week at same time, same place. And like we end all other sessions, sessions, all the podcasts.
It will be a session
here. But we're not done with this conversation, but we're going to come back and have this probably next week in a little bit so we can have these conversations and be more transparent. I see you next Wednesday, y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is Herspiration